everybody have ever noticed it, but I'm from the inner city, I'm from Hartford, and what I noticed is like when people go on the city buses, mostly African Americans, they go all the way to the back versus sitting in the front. So my question to you is, how do you feel about African Americans going backwards in time, I guess? Because even, not just city buses, but even when I go on like school trips and stuff like that, the African Americans always go to the back of the bus. How do you feel about that?
I'm gonna tell you, but you can't tell anybody else. When I was a little boy and we had to go to the back of the bus, I used to run to get to the back. Because on the back of the bus, in those days they had the long seat. And that means I could stretch out. And when we go overnight, that was like a couch, first class couch, black only. Okay? The other thing is I found out when the bus had a wreck, the people in the front of the bus went through the windshield. And they had all these seats in front of you, it was protection. And if you got hit from the rear, that would say the motor was back there. So you wouldn't get damaged because the motor was so big, etc. So the essence of it is not going to the back of the bus. It's a question of if you wanted to sit in the front, you could sit. And if you want to sit in the back, I remember those little white boys who used to try to get on the bus and they used to try to run to the back, to get on that back seat. Their parents used to almost snatch their arm out of the socket. Get back up here. Oh, no, you get back up here. Sit up here where you're supposed to. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? And I used to feel sorry for them, you know what I mean? Because that's the safest place on the bus is really in the back. Okay?
Yeah.
Even on an airplane, the first people that get killed are the folks in the first class. They're first. You understand me? So, but it's a question of, now, I need to tell y'all this because, y'all probably wouldn't ever know. On the train, it was opposite. On the train, the blacks would sit in the front. Did you know that? Yeah, they had separate separate cars, on the train. The entire car was either black or white, but the black ones would sit in the front, next to the engine. Because in those days, they used to stoke it with coal and all that smoke and all that dust and soot and all that kind of stuff, etc., and noise, from the motor. So the point is, it's not where you sit, it's whether or not you have the freedom of choice. We had to sit in the front on the train. And they let the window down, they didn't have any air conditioning, so your little white suit that you had on would be all okay. And even your face would be all full of soot and everything, okay, up there. And the whites used to sit in the back, and they had the caboose back there where the dining car was and all that, Some of y'all remember that, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember. So, that's the question. If a white person wanted to sit in the back, they should have the freedom. And see, it went both ways. The whites were not allowed to sit in the back. They were discriminated against. They didn't have freedom of choice. White, 21, and free. That's the phrase we used to use. Yeah, but they weren't free to sit, but they wanted to either. They couldn't go to the black theater. Okay? Yeah, sometimes, Ray Charles would be playing, at the black theater. They couldn't go. They were white. All right? So, it's, in short, freedom of choice. If they want to choose to do that, they have the freedom to do it. All right? Next.